Sinclair, and let's hope that that car alarm is just about over. Our next speaker is Johal, and is the chairperson of the Impact on Communities Coalition, who were very active during the Olympics, and coordinated the 2010 Homelessness Hunger Strike Relay, where he convinced people to take a whole week at a time where they went on a hunger strike one at a time, and it's still continuing. So he's also going to be on the train tonight leading the delegation to Ottawa. Johal.
Well, Stephen Harper's going to need that alarm bell once we get to Ottawa. And I want to echo what Libby and Jim were talking about. You know, we really, here in the downtown east side and the east side of Vancouver, we stand on the shoulders of social movements that came before us. If you look back at the history of Vancouver, before it was even incorporated at the city, right in the shores of what is today Crab Park was an Aboriginal village. And today that fight for social justice and land claims and redress goes on. In 1907, people marched down Pender Street and broke the windows in Chinatown. And for many, many years, people fought to get rid of the head tax and all of the discriminatory legislation against the Chinese community. In 1935, about the same time as the Ottawa Trek, a few blocks east of here, there was a 3-hour battle between longshoremen and the police called the Battle of Ballantine Pier. So that fight for justice and wages continues. During the Second World War, just a few blocks from here, the Japanese community was interned right here, and that fight for justice and redress continued for many, many decades. When government tried to push a highway through the heart of Strathcona, the community rose up and said no. In the 90s, when people were overdosing, people were pushing for harm reduction. The front pages of the paper used to say, "Junkies want a shooting gallery," and this community rose up and said, this is a health and human rights issue. So we say clearly today that if we can spend $1 billion for Olympic security, if they can spend $1 billion for security for the G8 and G20, we can spend $1 billion for social housing in Canada. Today I want to thank someone who couldn't be with us today, Cecily Nicholson, who's the Administrative Director of the Downtown Eastside Women's Center, just went the last 7 days without eating on a liquid diet. It's the 75th week someone did this quietly across this city with very little media attention or interest from the papers. And so it didn't matter to us because people volunteered and wanted to raise and push this amongst their own circles of friends. That's how we've organized all through the Olympic period when no one was listening about pushing for the social commitments. This community continued. And today, when we get on the trains with our trekkers, Sean Millar from the Portland Hotel Society, Dave Murray from the Carnegie Community Action Project, Diana Hart from the Purple Thistle Center. We have a couple of people going from the Lookout Emergency Aid Shelter, and I'm forgetting a couple of people as well. But once we get on the trains, we're going to be discussing what we do in Toronto and Ottawa. We have meetings set up with housing organizations, and you see the red tents that were donated to us from the Pivot Legal Society. We're going to be leaving them with housing groups in Toronto, and we're going to be taking more to Ottawa for the lawn of Parliament Hill. And so let the message be loud and clear from British Columbia Prime Minister Stephen Harper. Let it be loud and clear. Either you and your caucus support a national housing program, or we will throw you out of office. And when we get back from Ottawa, hold the fort because the fight goes on. Thank you.